everyone receives is a reflection of you.
Dear Diary, a thought came to mind recently about others, humanity, and fear. Not the kind of fear that what are we afraid of fear, like spiders and insects. Let's talk about horror. The fear that is generated from that. Are you afraid to travel to places because of a specific fear of a specific community or animal? Ideology that is being placed upon. Those fears are probably legitimate. But let's talk about the creation of fear. I think we've heard many scholars and wise teachers talk about how fear is not a natural emotion. It is a creation to harbor energy. It keeps people in a low vibrational state. So how do you keep a community in fear? How do you keep them in a low vibrational state? Wow, dear diary. You introduce hatred, anger. You introduce firearms and weapons and things that make people afraid. You introduce scaredness, loss of life, fearful for living. These are their creations. But you see, it's not as easy as just introducing people into an environment with guns or knives. You must contain that into a storyline. So how do they do it? Through horror, through movies, TV series. And you're afraid of the dark kind of thing. Someone who is your close friend can be a killer. Introducing a hidden fear of going to a location for that very reason. Most people aren't afraid of zombies because it's an unrealistic event. But if you look at The Walking Dead and the atrocities that those people are making against each other, human to human, that is fearful. The clothes they wear is judging as someone to make an overall judgment again, if you will, of that person. And then they look at themselves and they say, am I big enough? Am I strong enough? Or will I run and cower? Or for those that stand up, they get beaten. And they pump this down the screens to keep you in fear. Scared to go around the corner at night for a fear. Our brains are powerful to manifest the desires we have in our realities for human development, for betterness, for science, for love, for growth, for food, for nature, for everything. And when the souls and the minds of the people are connected, this is what can be created. Happiness and joy and peacefulness. But as with everything, possibilities that they introduce these in TV shows, in things that are so gripping that everyone wants to watch them, so their thoughts are creating the exact events they are watching. NCIS, Law and Order, all these sort of things. People love watching drama and horror, but it is being imprinted in their mind as fear factor. Even that as a psychological attempt to keep people in fear. So is the brain capable of creating these manifestations as fears to keep reality entrapped inside its own cycle? Absolutely. So why do I talk about fear? Fear is creating the reality that we live in. The knock at the door to highlight the locations that we need to remove from society, wanting to come inside, wanting to change the ways and let the flowers grow through the cracks, rebuild society. For the more that start to seek positive thoughts, positive outcomes and dreams of where they want to be, the more that shut their TV off, don't read the magazines and the papers. Maybe they observe and visualize to see where the world is currently at. Your brain goes in multitude of directions as outside the rat squeaks as confirmation. Whether you watch the news for fear or information. You see, I cannot watch the mainstream news anymore on a television because I feel the energies from the news, from the television, when it's mainstream. I can't stand to watch it. Adverts are the same. Your body attunes to what it is. So when you turn off the television, when you turn off the phones, your body's energy and frequency changes. The realities you create start going into more of mystery and wonder and creation, of love and happiness. They themselves are generating fear because they are fearful that we will remove fear from our daily lives. And the more that we remove the fear, the less people are afraid, the more they are willing to join in the nation of love. Do you like scary movies? Have you ever asked yourself why? What's the first thing that you think about after you finished watching it? Do you talk about it? It's all over the news, it's everywhere. But who creates a monster? Who creates these people that are in fear? Are they made? It's plausible. Not everyone can be born in such hatred. If you are born into pure love and families, you are made. At least in my opinion, I believe that it is made. It is a storyline. But the more humanity starts thinking in the positive way of light and unconditional love, and freeing yourself from the burden of fear, you can watch it, but you just don't give it your energy. All of a sudden, the world changes. And the knock at the door to enlightenment comes. So that is why I think of fear. And where does it go? And why is it made? But then more questions arise and more doors to open. Leads to so many questions. And with that passage of time, I leave you for now. With peace and love, take care.